Hey everyone, my fellow recruiters recruiting from owners. Quick procrastination cure technique for you today. And if you implement this one thing, it'll at least get you started. They've done all these studies on procrastination, and there's a whole bunch of reasons I don't have time to get into. You can take courses on it, you can read books on it. And I'm not saying they're not worthwhile. I'm just saying a friend of mine who does coaching around procrastination, named Wendy Joy Hart. I always like to give credit where it's due. A few years ago, this incredibly well organized office that you see back here, actually, I know it's a little bit messy. You couldn't see the floor. And I procrastinated cleaning it up. Now, this applies to anything. So you might think, well, I have a clean office, but maybe you don't have enough job orders. Maybe you don't have enough candidates. Maybe you don't have enough of something. Generally, if there's overwhelm or guilt around not getting something done, keep listening. I'm giving you a real world example. And I met this woman. I invest a lot in myself to develop myself, develop my business, provide more value to our clients. So I'm at this coach's mastermind meeting. This is a few years ago. And I met her and just told her about the scene in my office. And she's like, well, what's the lowest common denominator you could commit to every day and know that you could follow through on, right? You know, there's a whole bunch of things we commit to and, okay, we don't follow through on them. And I didn't know where she was going. She goes, can you file permanently or discard or handle a minimum of one piece of paper a day for the next couple weeks? I'm like, yeah, I can do that. One piece of paper. I go, that's not going to clean up all those files. She goes, call me in 2 weeks. Can you do one piece of paper a day? She goes, and that's all I want you to do, just one piece of paper a day. So it seemed kind of silly. So for 2 weeks, all I did was go to that pile back here, and it's not there anymore, or piles. And I opened a folder or pulled off a piece of paper and chucked it or filed it or did something with it, acted on it, so I didn't have to touch it again. And then 2 weeks later, she said, can you look through one file folder a day for the next 2 weeks? So yeah, she goes, I don't care if the file folder has 2 pieces of paper and that's it. It's accomplishment if you've done one file folder. And I did that. And then really what happened was I didn't honestly need to talk to her again. She was helping me more as a friend. Within a month, the entire room was cleared. Right? You know, well, I don't want to wait a month. Well, I had sat there for a year with that room in that condition, and within a month it was cleared. And this was a few years ago. For the most part, it's never gotten bad. Whenever it does, I go back to the one a day for a week. I shorten it to a week, and then a file folder a day, and my office is cleaned up. So that's on for those of you who are paper pigs, maybe like me in this electronic age. Can you do this with phone calls? Can you start with something that you're not doing? You might not be making enough marketing calls. Can you make one attempt? I don't care if you leave a voicemail. If you're not doing any, and maybe you do that for a week, can I just make one marketing call a day? Because in this economy, I know a lot of you are leveraging call-ins. Ask yourself, what is the one thing you've been putting off, not getting to? Number 2, is what's the one lowest common denominator you can do at a minimum for the next 2 weeks? And then what is the next lowest common denominator you can do for 2 weeks after that? And just stick to that. It really bypasses all the triggers in your brain to come up with excuses, because are you going to come up with an excuse not to file a piece of paper? One more story. This was not true for me. This was a story she told me about someone she was aware of that had walked by a treadmill that wanted to start an exercise program for years and always came up with reasons not to wake up early or do it at the end of the day or whatever. And she coached him to say, what's your favorite thing to do in the morning? And the woman's like, I love to read the paper and drink my coffee. She goes, can you stand on the treadmill? I don't want you to turn it on. Can you stand on the treadmill and drink your coffee and read part of the paper for 10 minutes a day? That's all I need you to do. I do not want you to turn it on. And so the woman's like, yeah, I can do that. So for 10 minutes a day, she drank her coffee for 10 minutes and read the paper, then finished her paper wherever she did. And then the next 2 weeks, she said, what I want you to do is I want you to turn it on the lowest possible setting, drink your coffee, read your paper and just walk for 10 minutes at the lowest possible setting. And then there was a whole build up to the point where the person was running every day. It bypasses all the triggers because you actually subtly start to build a habit without your subconscious triggering you to give you all the reasons why you shouldn't, can't, and don't have enough time. So one quick technique, real quick, is find the lowest common denominator of the one thing you've been procrastinating. Get that done, and build on that slowly, even if it seems ridiculous. Again, if you like these ideas, subscribe to this channel below, or somewhere on this page. And there's a bunch of free stuff for recruiters on growing your billings, growing your office. Go to the recruiteru as in university.com to subscribe to access kind of that material. There's a whole bunch of blog posts and articles on growing your business. Thanks so much. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you on my next video tip. Bye now.